So the Olympics, the opener happened over the weekend. Obviously, it's taking place in Paris, France. And the big sort of high profile thing that happened in the opener of the Olympics, it was very weird. That was the Last Supper. It was the Last Supper, inspired Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper painting, except everybody in the Last Supper painting was queer or trans. It was deliberately an insult to Christians all over the world. And then they float on in Dionysius, who is the Greek god of wine, except he's like a fat smurf on a cornucopia of flowers to sing to you. It created obviously an enormous amount of backlash at the opener of the Olympics. This is where would we hide a revolver if we were naked? I know where you think, but it's not a good idea. No more rich people, no more poor people when we get naked again. Whether you're slim or fat, we're just naked. Let's live how we were born. So, welcome to the Weird West. That's pretty weird. It's insulting, obviously, because it turns out that a Judeo-Christian heritage upon which the West was built, that values family and childbearing and child rearing, explicitly rejects this. I mean, understand that it's not just about the mockery of the Last Supper, which is disgusting and horrible. And the fact is that, again, they would never try this in France with Muslims, because if they did, Charlie Hebdo would have all of its employees murdered. And this is about a society that has decided to revert to the pre-Christian ideal. Literally, the story of Adam and Eve in the Bible is about people living in a Garden of Eden in a state of nakedness, and then they eat from the tree of knowledge, and now they have to put on skins, because this is what it means to become a sinful human, is you actually have to wear clothes. So this is, again, a very pre-Christian ideal that is being promoted by the Olympics. Now, the person who organized this, whose name is Anne Descamps, she apologized for this. Of course it was meant to be insulting to Christians. Clearly it was meant to be insulting to Christians.
There was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. On the contrary, I think that Thomas Joly really tried to really intend to celebrate community tolerance. If people have taken any offense, we are, of course, really, really sorry.
It's about singing songs about how we don't have any differences when we're naked, because all that really matters is sex, right? There really is nothing important about human life, about religion, about belief systems, or certainly about children. So why is that important? Well, if you look at France as sort of the bleeding edge of the cultural West, then what you see is that France, like pretty much every other country in Europe, as well as the United States, has an aging population with very few babies. Right? That's just a reality. And that's a problem. France's population increase has basically stalled out. Right now, the fertility rate in France has dropped down to 1.68 children per woman compared to 1.79 in 2022. That is down from about 2 in 2013. The average age of mothers in France has been rising steadily over the same period. It currently stands at 31, okay, which is pretty old in terms of like the average age of having your first kid. Not only that, religious practice in France, of course, has gone completely by the wayside. In 2019-2020, according to one study in NC, 2019-2020, 51% of the population aged 18 to 59 in metropolitan France said they had no religion. While Catholicism remains the dominant religion, 29% of the population says that they are Catholic. Islam comes in second at 10%. Only 8% of those Catholics regularly attend a place of worship, compared to just over 20% of other Christians, Muslims, and Buddhists. 91% of people raised in a Muslim family follow the religion of their parents. Only 67% of Catholics follow the religion of their parents. So religion is falling away. And as it turns out, the prediction is that by about 2050, 20% of the population of France is going to be Muslim. So what does that have to do with America? Well, again, it has to do with what actually is weird. A Republican presidential candidate saying perhaps we should have tax incentives in order to get people to have more kids. Not super weird. Saying that, it's actually a benefit of society for people to have kids. We should make it easier for people to have kids in the United States. And it turns out what is a weird position is the suggestion that what the West is truly all about is drag queens in the Last Supper with a pagan god of wine, a fat smurf rolling on in to talk about nakedness. That's the part that's not weird. Apparently that's totally normal.